Something doesn't feel right.
Wake up!
Where am I?
I asked the questions here, pal.
What do you want from me?
I just said I asked the questions here. You're a bio major.
Yeah, so what?
What do you know about invertebrates?
Invertebrates? Don't you mean invertebrates?
Yeah.
Oh, well, why didn't you just say so? Well, let me explain it to you. Alright, so invertebrates are any animal that lacks a backbone, and they make up 90% of all living animals. Out of all the phyla, my two favorite are phylum Annelida and phylum Arthropoda.
Oh, Arthropoda? Isn't that the most diverse and abundant group of animals?
Exactly. So some of the characteristics of those animals include antennas, numerous legs, a well-developed digestive system, an exoskeleton, and their body symmetry is bilateral.
Bilateral?
Right, it pretty much just means that both of their halves are identical.
Oh, okay. Can you give me some examples of these animals?
Sure, they include all the insects you can think of. Bees, spiders, butterflies, centipedes, scorpions, even lobsters and crabs. And believe it or not, they can be found in your backyard.
Really?
Yeah, they are found in land and water. So lakes, rivers, deserts, and grass.
Deserts? There's no McDonald's in the desert, so how do they eat?
No, they don't need that. Instead, they depend on other organisms for their food because they are heterotrophs. Some arthropods are carnivorous, meaning they eat meat. Some are herbivores, meaning they eat plants. And some are filter feeders, meaning they get their food from particles in the water.
Okay. But I still have one more question. How do they reproduce?
Right. So most reproduce sexually,
Uh-huh.
though there are some crustaceans and insects that reproduce asexually.
Oh. So what's the difference?
Right. So sexually is when there's both a male and a female. And
Okay.
asexual is when they can reproduce with themselves.
Oh, got it. Okay, what about the other phylum you mentioned? Annelida, was it?
You mean Annelida, right?
Someone say Annelida. Why is it so dark in here? I know a few things about phylum Annelida. Just like phylum Arthropoda, phylum Annelida animals have bilateral body symmetry and are heterotrophic. So they eat smaller organisms and in some cases blood from their hosts.
Blood from their host.
Like who? Like me?
Exactly. Leeches do that. And there's some normal organisms like earthworms and legworms.
Okay, but how do we know if we're looking at an Annelida?
Simple. Some of the characteristics are no exoskeleton, setae, which are movable bristles, no backbone because they're invertebrate, and they're coelomates, which means they have fluid in between their gut and outer body wall.
Okay, that means they're like worms and stuff, right? So last time I checked, worms don't have mouths, so how do they eat?
That's a very good question, and I have just the video to explain it to you.
So what do annelids eat? Some annelids prey on other small invertebrates. Some live in tubes and emerge just to grab the prey with their jaws as they pass by, like a tiger waiting to pounce a prey. Many annelids are detritivores. That means they feed on sediments and deposits because they contain very small invertebrates and microorganisms.
Sediments and deposits. Oh, so they do have mouths.
Yeah. Now, do you want to know how they reproduce?
Yeah.
Annelids reproduce sexually and asexually. In sexual reproduction, some species have both sperm and eggs, and rather self-fertilization, both of them come together, transfer each other's sperm, and that's how they reproduce. In asexual reproduction, some species are able to split in half or even apart of themselves, which is referred to as budding or fission, and that little piece becomes a whole new worm.
I'm feeling a bit uncomfortable. I think I want to go home.
Wait. I didn't even talk about their home yet.
Fine, I guess I'll stay.
You can find annelids in water and terrestrial environments. So that's the ocean, lakes, rivers, and soil and mudflats.
That was very informative. Wow, you sure do know a lot about annelids.
Yeah, they're like my specialty, but I wish I knew more about amphibians.
Amphibians? I know a lot about amphibians. Guys, come with me. Alright guys, welcome to my amphibia lair. Here we have my friend Lucio, the tomato frog. Tomato frog, they're supposed to be red, but he's green, and he'll be turning red in about a year since he's just a juvenile. I just want to know some interesting facts about amphibians. Well, these animals are born with gills and tail, but over time they metamorphosize to grow legs, and their tail is absorbed into their body, and most of them lose their gills. Isn't that right? Oops, almost forgot to spray you with some water since amphibians love a humid environment. You know, most amphibians love to live in humid places like swamps, ponds, marshes, forests, and in general, just very wet and humid places. Yeah, and something interesting about their skin is that they're very smooth and slimy, and their skin is very sensitive because it is such a thin layer. What's also cool is that their skin is so special they can actually drink water through their skin. Alright, Lucio, I think I'm gonna go to McDonald's. I can't really take you though because you don't like McDonald's. You specifically like crickets. Kinda gross if you ask me. But you kind of also like to eat snails for some reason, fruit flies and mosquitoes and even earthworms. You're kind of a nasty little critter.